Who doesn't love family holidays? I mean, isn't that what we all live for, work for? That time with your family, with your friends, and enjoying that space together. Now imagine if your job was a holiday and to create holidays. Well, I'm speaking this week on The Disruptors with a very interesting couple, Devendra and Tejas Parulekar. They are founders of a company called SaffronStays, which is not quite an Airbnb, but does curate beautiful homes that you can enjoy when you want that weekend getaway. Thank you so much, Tejas and Devendra, for coming in and speaking with us on The Disruptors this week.
Thank you so much for having us. It's such a pleasure.
Yeah. So, you know, the boom of the homestay, at least to my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I know this company is around since 2014, accelerated after COVID, when people wanted a vacation, many were working from home or working remotely, so they could go to a nice place and work, and they didn't necessarily want to go to a large hotel.
Correct. That's right. So actually, you're absolutely right. I think when we look at our journey, I think the journey pre-COVID and post-COVID is almost very stark. And pre-COVID, I think there was a lot of education that we would have to do, whether it was with the owners as to why they should open up their homes to such places or to such guests, and also to guests as to why they should come and choose a SaffronStays or why they should come and choose a villa, because most people would typically say, you know, I just want to stay in a Taj, and I always stay in a Marriott, and I always stay in a Oberoi. COVID somewhere forced these people who were perhaps fence sitters to try a villa stay, try it out. And I think most people who tried it at that time completely got hooked on. They could see the clear advantages of actually being in a villa as against a sterile sort of a hotel space. So here you have the entire place to yourself, you have the privacy, you have the entire pool to yourself, you have the caretakers making food the way you want it. So all those advantages sort of started playing out. And
so COVID was our best marketing platform. The virus did a marketing for us, and you know, in every company, I think a situation comes where circumstances align, and this was where not just a guest but also a lot of people who were either sitting on land banks or who had a lot of surplus cash and had childhood dreams of owning a bungalow but never really gotten around to building one. All of them started actively looking to building, constructing these beautiful, luxurious vacation homes or villas. And here we are. I mean, we are now adding 15 homes a month.
So that's fabulous. You mentioned at the beginning as an alternative to people who stay in luxury hotels. So is this a very clear focus? Now, for those who don't know what SaffronStays is, what's the, you know, the social media blurb on what SaffronStays is? Is this for high-end luxury travelers only?
Yeah, premium and luxury is the space that we operate in. And even the customers or the guests, discerning families and groups of friends. Anybody and everybody who would love to have a lovely time together. So I don't say that we are in the business of hospitality. We are in the business of bringing people together. These are homes which are engineered with centers of gravity to bring people together.
Bungalow dilate hain aap logo ko. I mean, all this fancy stuff, but come on, So and with everything they'd get, say, in a luxury place.
Comforts of a hotel.
Because you know, you talked about people making that switch, but then there's room service, there's 24-hour room service.
No,
which you get in a hotel.
Correct.
Yes, but we actively avoid all the usual chochles of the hotel, and we pretty much say that, look, this is a home. This is how a home will be, you know, created and operated. And so, for example, our caretakers are actively trained not to be in your face, right? There's this concerned neglect. So they are available, you press a button and they'll come, but every 2 minutes they're not going to ask you, unlike a hotel, sir, everything is good, is the food good? No, that obsequious, service, that artificial, sterile way, she used the correct word, sterile. And those pigeonholes of 200, 300, 400 square feet, no. I think it's the million square feet of the open vistas in front of you.
Correct.
The verandas that you sit.
Visual ownership,
visual
as we love to call. So you're sitting in your room or you're sitting in the veranda and you just open up and it opens up to the lake and it opens up to the mountains. So it's and there's nothing else in sight, right? So it's as good as you're owning everything over there. So that visual ownership is something that is very powerful.
Priceless.
It's
I mean,
priceless.
you can't put a price to it.
No, but of course you do, and you put a good
We
price. You put a price to it. No, let me understand how this started, because this is a very interesting story. First of all, the space.
Yeah.
First of all, a couple working together. You know, that itself has its own journey.
Yeah.
And I believe this is you're the origin of this, Tejas. And
Actually,
Devendra came on later.
Yeah, officially yes, but I think both of us actually acted on that idea for a long time, and of course it's an idea that has evolved over years, over decades. To start with, actually, as a child, so my father worked with the Tatas, and he was a senior economist in the Tatas. He was the chief economist of the Tata Group. And because he was in that position, we had access to a lot of the guest houses of Tatas, and where we would go and stay for 1 week in Matheran and 1 week in Mahapeshwar. And he's come for a few of these later on when we were dating. But the whole beauty of actually having the entire place to yourself, privacy, the caretaker coming and treating my mother like a queen, ma'am, aaj khane mein kya banao? And she used to be like, wow, this is a holiday where someone comes and asks me these things. So that kind of stayed on. And years later, after we got married, my father was just about retiring. And as a last, he gifted us a stay at, again, a Tata Tea guest house in Fort Kochi.
Victory Dawn.
Victory Dawn in Fort Kochi. And when we were sitting there, and we were like, oh my God, you know, all this access is going to go away. And we kept thinking that if people, why is this not democratized? If someone has the money and is willing to pay for this experience, why can this not be available? But of course,
all along, you know, even after that, all our holidays. I mean, life takes its own course, right? EMIs, children, apartments, and you forget all of this. She was a banker, chartered accountant, corporate banker. I used to be a partner in EY. So life next 16, 17 years just rolled by paying EMIs.
Correct.
Right? And building that safety net for ourselves. But even during that, we actively shunned hotels. We never stayed in hotels, except the commercial office outings. But for all practical purposes, we used to, when no Airbnb existed, we used to look at websites like Gîte de France, find that odd chateau somewhere in France. All our holidays were farm stays, farmhouses across the world. So we always wanted to unlock this in India.
We felt very comfortable with kids, especially because there's a little machine there, and of course those are very self-help.
So how many kids?
2.
2 kids. Okay. So the idea of the whole family vacation is what has driven this business at its core.
Very true.
At the end of the day. My question is then, how do you end up scaling this? Because along with this whole situation picture you've painted about EMIs, kids, etc., education, suddenly one day you both have great jobs and you say, chalo, business shuru karte hain.
वो तो midlife crisis की वजह से हो गया.
Okay, that was the midlife crisis.
Yeah, I turned 40 on my 40th birthday. I went and told my boss, look, I'm done. I'm done and I'm joining Tejas. This is what we aspire to do. And I remember that conversation, Christian gentleman, Terry, and he said, Devin, do you have a plan B? And I said, no, I don't have a plan B. Then go ahead and do it. I said, okay, all right. And here we are, almost now 9 years plus.
Yeah.
And slowly
so plan A has worked out.
Plan A is in the process of working out.
No, I mean, worked out. Let's talk about the numbers, right? What the initial capital was, what your company is worth today.
Yeah. You want to take that?
Let the CA talk about that.
Worth is, of course, in the eyes of the beholder. But what we are currently is that we are now about 425 homes spread across various parts of India. And we've touched an 100 ARR, annual run rate of 100 crores.
This year we'll touch 120 crores.
Correct.
3-4% EBITDA.
And what was the seed capital?
1 crore.
1 crore. That was Devin's capital, of course.
So from 1 crore to 120 crores in 9 years is not bad. I mean, at least in terms of the size of the
And
company.
hopefully the valuation is a multiple of that.
Valuation is a tough thing to talk about nowadays.
Yes,
For
especially
people
now.
who start companies.
Better not to.
No, but we are third year EBITDA profitable. So, and every year with operating leverage kicking in, increasing that EBITDA margin every year. And that's been our goal. She's a chartered accountant. She will not leave EBITDA anywhere.
Is that thanks to the CA or to the consultant that you are
I think, no, I think it's just being modest. I think it's both. Just post-COVID, I think I remember this conversation where we said that, we have to stop burning. and we just decided that we have to put ourselves on a roadmap.
Yeah.
And it took us a good 2 years after that to very, very carefully evaluate every little decision that we were taking, every region that we were entering, every home that we were adding, every contract that we were signing, right? So I think that sort of ensured that we had that path towards profitability. And I think FY24 was the first year when we broke even. FY25 is we had a profit, and 26 also will definitely be a
So, it's
profit.
fundamentally, you look at your product mix. So the reason why we exited the budget category is because the effort reward ratio. We said we'll only premiumize and only get into the luxury segment. So we actually shrunk our inventory. Right? Got rid of all the non-exclusive contracts, just focused on building a business one home at a time. I'll give you a metric. 3 years ago, we used to run 125 homes, out of which 50 to 60 were in the budget category, and we had 200 people. Okay? Today, we have 425 homes, 0 in the budget category, all are luxury and premium, which means we shrunk and actually moved back in. And still with 200 people. And how did we do that?
200 people, you mean size of the
company.
Size, yeah.
And that is primarily because we embrace technology to the hilt. As I told you, I was a cybersecurity professional. So we just unlocked a lot of technology onto our business, and every part of our business, the innards of our business are tech enabled. So that allows us this concept called operating leverage, where your fixed costs remain at a certain level, but your revenues outpace your costs. And that's the reason why every year we are able to add a percentage or a 2 to our EBITDA. And our goal eventually is to get to a 10-15% EBITDA company.
You're talking like a company that wants to list.
That's a natural outcome.
Yeah.
That's a natural process. But we would like to list as a profitable, EBITDA positive company, growing 30-40% a year. Which
Can you
unlocks.
continue to grow at that pace? I'm wondering, because what you're talking about post-COVID, definitely there was a whole shift of people. I'm wondering if that trend has shifted back.
No.
Because now you have large players also who have come into that space,
Absolutely.
who want to give you that curated experience and not just
But
the hotel.
in fact, what large players, like Taj coming into our space has done is that it's actually added credibility to the entire space. So
Industry
it's suddenly, there is an industry status. There's like, okay, if Taj can think that this is important, right? So therefore, definitely it is of worth. So in fact, it's added credibility. Sorry.
Structural, I'll just pick that up. There are many things that have happened. First is post-COVID, I think the infrastructure boom that has happened. You look at any city in this country and there are exit roads where expressways are being built out, which means distances which were 6 hours, 8 hours are suddenly 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So hinterland of India, which is absolutely drop dead gorgeous. And I'll give you a case in point, Samruddhi Highway has unlocked the whole belt from here to Shirdi. So there are 49 irrigation projects in that region which were completely untapped, and now everybody wants to build a vacation home around the lakes, and that's unlocked a massive amount of inventory. Imagine this being replicated pan India. You name the expressway, the Ganga Expressway, Yamuna Expressway, Dwarka Expressway, the Dehradun Road, the ECR, and everywhere I think these roads are being built. So, we have much to thank the present dispensation on building this infrastructure. And of course, the structural customer preferences have also changed. Right? People no longer want to, I think the value perception that people get from staying in a 300 square feet pigeonhole of a hotel masquerading as a room versus the largeness of an 8,000 square feet villa that you have to yourself with the entire staff at your beck and call. The value perception is unbelievably different.
But then it works only for large groups.
Yes.
You're limiting yourself. Large groups and large
That's
families.
how we Indians travel. Look at our travel profile, and even if you go with your wife or spouse, how long will he or she tolerate you, right? As I keep saying, right? It's
Like we said, we were building for solving our problems.
solving our problem. Going with your wife to a holiday is just change of location.
Yeah.
So
She's the CA, she'll demote you. Be careful.
I've resigned to that.
Okay, so who's the boss? Who's the boss in this running of the business? Who has the final call, the veto?
No, I don't think either of us have it. But what we have is a very interesting thing that we play to our strengths. So, for example, there are clear strengths that Devan has, like the tech part of it, the marketing, the sales. That's something that he takes care of. I handle, of course, the finances. I handle operations. And and the supply side, of course, both of us are involved because it's very, very strategic. That's the most important part of our business. So both of us sort of work on that. So we play to our strengths, and then obviously there is a clear. In those segments, he has the veto. In certain things, I have the veto. So that's how it is.
And the other person has a vote, but not the veto.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How much of this spills onto post-working hours?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time.
All the
So
time,
there's a blur between home and office.
Completely. So it has its advantages and disadvantages. The advantage, of course, is that somewhere I think even the children, participate in certain discussions, and they have some, and they, of course, Gen Z, right? They are the consumers for us, in 5 years down the line. So of course their opinion matters, and their sort of views also and inputs also matter a lot of times. So definitely, and of course the cons are, then you don't know where to stop, right?
Yeah, where do you go for a holiday?
We
do you go to a pigeonhole?
I think we just, every time we go for a holiday, I think we are half the time either, if we go and stay at one of our properties, we are finding ways to make it better. And if we go to someone else's property, we are trying to say, "Arey, ye apne paas kyun nahi hai?" So it's constantly, I think, it's difficult.
So we
not
also
to
take separate
switch off.
holidays.
I think that's it. Huh? I think that's what.
So I
it
go
is.
on a trek almost every switch off in the Himalayas. She'll do her own thing. So I think we've learned to work around all of this madness.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful.
Does this kind of partnership work personally and professionally? Would you recommend it for couples to go into business together? Because there are a fair amount of now couples who are running businesses.
Yeah, and very successfully, of
Yeah,
course. You see a lot of them.
Yeah.
I think it's a very personal thing. I think most of the startups fail because the co-founders can't see eye to eye at some point of time. That chemistry is gone, or the trust factor is gone. I think one clear advantage of being with a spouse or maybe with a sibling is that you never have to question the other person's intent. Right? So there are decisions that he will take without even consulting me, and I will just go by saying that, okay, I know the intent is right. We may go wrong on the decision, but the intent is right. That's never questioned.
Correct.
Right? So that is what I think works very well.
But as long as there's mutual respect,
Yeah.
I think things should be perfectly all right being together in business.
Is this a partnership extend to running the household, managing the kids as well, 50-50, or is that something that Tejas
You have
does?
just such a
Like,
wrong
my
knob.
God.
Okay.
Obviously, that's my
We
job.
don't have enough time. on
No,
this.
of course we do.
Oh, now I'm going to take over the entire conversation.
Waiting for
Guilty
an
as
answer.
charged.
Guilty as charged.
It's getting there. I think it's getting there. But it's fine. Yeah, of course. It is not 50-50. I won't be, I won't mince words, but it's fine. It's okay.
Guilty as charged.
Guilty as charged. Okay, let's
So
get.
typically when the kids have a problem, they'll call me up. If I don't answer, they'll call him up and say, "Where's mom?" Right. So
I know
that
say.
answers.
See, guess who has the veto there? Or even the vote?
Maybe it's a competence issue.
Possible. Like I said, I don't have any defenses here. I know.
Guilty as charged. No, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting because you see the intricacies of running a business that is moving successfully with that kind of dynamic. It's not always easy, and especially as the business grows. So let me come to that part, and I'll come to you first, Tejas. So where do you see this business growing, and what is the extent of it? Will you hit a ceiling after a point? Because first of all, you're premium, then you want to be niche. There are other people coming in. How much more can the story go?
I think we're just getting started, if you ask me. And like I said, pre-COVID, anyway, this industry had a very different sort of a size, scale, growth momentum. and what it now has is a very different right. So Devendra, of course, I think you should take this because there's the premiumization part of it is something that you should explain how that has kind of worked in our favor.
If you look at our own economy, I think premiumization is the story.
Yeah, of course.
The classic K curve, right? Demand just keeps rising as the price or the aspirational aspect improves, and there's demand at the bottom. Somewhere in the middle, you're stuck. There's no growth. So we chose the former, the premium side. But having said that, just next 20 years, I think the demographic dividend that we're going to get, the changing definition of families itself. We view our work colleagues as family. So the definition of families, it's not just families. And look at it this way, when people at my age, one person swipes a card for the whole group. And hence, it's considered a luxury. But people at, say, Gen Z, 7 people, 8 people are splitting that same 2 lakh rupee night or 1 lakh rupee night or 50,000 rupees per night, and it's just 5,000 rupees per night per person. Suddenly, it's extremely affordable. And there's this concept called compensatory consumption, where people in that income stream of 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs a month today are no longer purchasing assets. They are not buying apartments, and they're not locking in themselves, unlike where we bought our first flat apartment when we were barely 26, 27.
Correct, yeah.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And today I don't think people think of that. But you still have to do the concept of signaling, status signaling, luxury signaling. We are a medium towards luxury signaling. So if you look at how we are consumed visually through eyes. So getting onto Instagram, posting lovely photographs, on Instagram of, oh, look at my house, look at my, look at the view outside the veranda. I think that drives aesthetics and not money. It's not, it's class over money. And I think these customer preferences are only going to get evolve better and better, and we've learned to adapt to this. And we've figured that, and when she said our children have a ringside view of the company, the kind of insights that come from them is just unthinkable. In fact, we forced our children to sit on the sales team, take calls, convert calls. Why? Internship, free labor, right? बेच के दिखा, right? And then it's a life skill that
sales is a life skill, yeah.
So, but we get such tremendous insights in how they think, operate. It's unbelievable, and that's the future. We are building a company not for the children, but for that Gen Z.
No, so as you must have gamed, you must have done a SWOT analysis and gamed the potential threats as well. What is on the horizon that you need to keep yourself safe from? Great concept, company is grown. Now the next question is scale, right? You've done a great 9 years, you have to survive the next 20. What is the biggest threat that you see, and what's the biggest, or the opportunity you've spoken about? What's the biggest threat?
So we have to be we're firstly delusional in our thinking that there are no threats. But of course, we have to be practical enough to plan for threats. I think the one of the threats that we face is the larger players coming into the space. The Marriotts of the world will come. All of them will come. So I think at some stage we got to align ourselves to the fact that this industry is going to see the big daddies coming, right? It's a reality. How we adapt our sales, how do we, mature our own product, get our product offering sharper and better. I mean, we have to learn to work harder, be smarter and more agile. So when Taj came in 3-4 years ago, I remember 3-4 of our homeowners shifted. And I thought, oh man, have I built a house of cards? Is this just going to collapse? But today, the industry has evolved. We were to 125 homes. Today we have 425 homes. We add 15 a home. They've also, they're also in that same space. They are probably at 150, 200 homes. We're there.
Yeah.
SaffronStays with you.
SaffronStays. Why the name SaffronStays?
You want to pick that up?
So I think the story really is that we were trying to come across a word or something that would one appeal to as many senses as possible. So the saffron, the flower, in terms of its visual, this would be, to look at, it's beautiful. The color, also it denotes Asia. The flavor, the aroma also. So a lot of things kind of get covered. So which is what we wanted to actually stand for, a brand that sort of speaks to various senses. Right?
Yeah. And the alliteration of SaffronStays.
And stays, yeah. That was just, yeah, that is what it was.
And the Asian, the fact that it denotes Asia. So we knew that one day we will eventually cross
Step
over
out,
beyond the boundaries of India.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's happening anytime soon?
No,
Not
soon. Maybe 5 to 7 maybe years down the line.
Yeah.
I think
5 years.
the growth story in India has just begun. And I, for example, out of these 425 homes, we are barely present in 6 clusters.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
One Alibag has 55 bungalows for me.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So our growth strategy is to pick up these clusters and just go deep in the clusters till we have 50, 60, 70 homes, right? So imagine the rest of the India. There's the whole religious tourism circuit. There's the whole Nilgiris. There is the whole, northeast.
No, that's true. It's just beginning to unlock. People want those experiences, and yes, that's great that they have all
Next
of
10
these.
years
There
is
could
going to
be
be
a lot of these parallel verticals that we're looking to explore, right? So we're looking at, we are completely in the leisure space. Can we also build something like this in the urban space, which is still family-centric, which is meant for families? Because today, when you families also go to other cities, not just for work and not just for business. So they're not just business trips, but they're also meant for, people go for
Weddings.
medical purpose, for weddings, just to visit family. When NRIs come back, they don't want to necessarily go back and stay in their homes because those, they don't meet the requirements any longer. So they would like to sort of rent an apartment and stay there and host people if they can. So there are lots of use cases now for the alternate sort of accommodation that we are trying to build out.
Staycations.
Staycations.
Staycations are
So,
big.
right. So, sky's the limit for this couple. Thank you so much, Tejas and Devendra, for coming in today and sharing your story. And I love the fact that you found a way to make partnership work at a family level and at a business level. Thank you.
Thank you so
Tamanna.
much.
Thank you very much. Lovely being here.